Yeah.
it's a big, and I hate this debate because sometimes I'm just like, can we just not like respect what they do, respect what we do, like, but it's a huge debate and you hear it all the time, especially in football locker rooms, basketball. Guys love basketball. And whether
Mhm.
it's, we have three rules that we shouldn't talk about in the locker room: arguing about politics, religion, or
And
MJ,
basketball.
LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, or Michael Jordan versus anybody, because it's just going to lead to chaos. But a lot of guys like, oh, I could have gone. You ask like a football player, like guys in the locker room, like, oh, what would you do? Man, I would have been a hooper. And it's like, no, you wouldn't. You're 335 pounds. Don't say that.
Are you referencing Trent Brown? Is that who you're referencing?
Anybody, Shaq used to,
Yeah, Shaq.
my right guard when we were kind of in our run of Super Bowls, he was named at, it was Shaquille Elijah Mason. Now, he was a hell of a football player. He's still playing, uh, but this dude was like 6'2",
Yeah.
340, and just a pulling guard of your dreams. And he was
Yeah.
just like, man, I'm a hooper. I'm like, no, you're not. So stop. But the big thing is like, all right, could LeBron James play football? Like, is there, or guys being like, I could play hoops, whatever. And I think Jefferson and who just did something
Yeah,
together.
Anthony
Yeah,
Edwards.
they just did like a little piece together, and that's such a huge debate. And it's just like sometimes I'm like, let's just let it be what it is. We're both professionals and we're really good at our sports. But in that spirit, do you think you could come out there and play, or is there anyone that you would like watch and be like, man, this dude probably could go out there and dominate on a Sunday?
Yeah.
I think skill positions, absolutely not. I mean, even like so most like basketball guys, like they'll maybe transition and maybe be a tight end.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
even that, dude, you have to like, it's not just running and catching a ball. It's like
Right.
there's technique to blocking. I don't, I think maybe receiver would be the one position where a guy could possibly get away with it. And then you'd have to go, like Russell Westbrook, you have to find a certain type of guy
Yep.
to be able to go do that. But even then, man, like, Joe Hayden's a buddy of mine, and
I love Joe. He's awesome.
dude, he's the best. And listening to him, because I love these conversations. I love asking guys to like take me through like what do you think like in a situation? And he's
Hmm.
the amount of things that he mentions that he has to do when he's covering somebody is like it's just mind blowing. Like that you speak a different language.
Yeah.
Like it's not even something I can really like keep up with. I know football decently well, but when you get to that level and you're doing it, you know, against the best, and you are the best, like I don't know that we give guys enough credit for how hard our sports are
Yeah, exactly.
individually. So like, I'm sure there's a guy in the NFL that could, but it's not going to be
Yeah.
pretty.
Well, I
You
mean,
know?
there's at some point you have to individualize. We all had to. Like, I played baseball and football, and at some point I had to make the which one are you going to commit to? I did a little research on you. You played baseball and football early in your high school career. There's certain guys that I look at in the NBA, and it's more about their size, not just like their height, but like a guy like you who's a thicker guy, a guy like LeBron. I think you guys, if you had gone down the route of committing yourselves to play football, you would have made it because you have the athletic ability and the skill to do it. A guy like Russell Westbrook could be a receiver. I think Kyrie Irving would be an incredible slot receiver. The way, when I see him do some of his moves with his handles, there's a lot of crossover that could work to winning routes. But as you say, like, could you do it right now? You've committed too far down the line to be able to transition. But I think if you had made a decision early in your career, like, man, I really love football, I think you would have been a great tight end. The way you played the game of basketball, and as I mentioned, I want to keep bringing him up, but I watched LeBron play football in high school, and he was all state. So I think he obviously made the correct decision, but his skill set would have easily transitioned to the football field, and he probably would have been an all pro receiver. I mean, he would have been Megatron, but bigger. So there's definitely the skills that translate. But as you talk about Joe Hayden, and I know Joe because we played in Cleveland together, it is a unique, there is a huge mental aspect of, yeah, there's the physical side, the same way that a guy who maybe was a great high school basketball player but went the football route, if he had committed himself, that'd be one thing. But there's so like it's such a specialized thing when you get to the professional level. Like I said, we watch you guys just watching warm-ups at the NBA games is the things that they're able to do with
it's
dunking
silly.
the basketball, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, guys, I'm sure there's tons of football guys who like in high school started then, but like this whole like which guys could switch
Right now.
like, I don't even.
Yeah.
I'm not even getting into
It's just
that
so
because
different. Like the conditioning's so different. You know, basketball, you guys aren't
Oh, you
carrying
guys are
any
running.
pads, but you're up and down the court and running. And what blows my mind, guys want to say that, look, you know, we got grass and turf we play on, right? And grass is 10 times better than turf. So these jokers go out there and complain about how sore they are after playing on turf. I'm like, yo, these assholes are running on freaking hardwood floors.
Wood floor, back and forth the whole
And
game.
you're complaining about artificial turf. So, like, let's see how their knees and ankles feel, you know, and hips or whatever. Like, you know, we're complaining about one day on turf. They're playing on hardwoods every other night, you know, like.
Man, I'd had to do a parent versus student like basketball game with my son a few years ago. This is while I was playing, and just running back and forth in that one game. And I was in good like football shape for a quarterback, and I was gassed. So to see you guys go up and down the court nonstop, I mean that like David said, that's a totally different type of conditioning than what we're used to. Because most plays in the NFL last about 3 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, there's no, we say this in basketball all the time, like there's no substitute, like you can't get in basketball shape without actually just playing basketball.
Right.
Same thing with
There's
football.
there's no conditioning drill that truly simulates, you know, like
Another man
yeah,
putting his hands on you, you know, like leaning on you, you know, the cut, the
Yeah.
stress, you know, but I
it's
think.
the physicality of like having, it's not just the like moving
No,
laterally forward. It's the also having to like, you know, bump somebody or, you know, even just like keep somebody from walking you down. Like it's just like incorporating all that into like
Yeah.
conditioning is
Well-
it's impossible to recreate.